Welcome to the 23rd day of the 5th month in the year of our Lord, 2023. It is Litter Media Live. Mike astutely pointed out
Stupidly?
Today is, I said astutely, pointed out today is the 23rd day of the 23rd year. Of the 5th
kind
month.
of the 23rd year.
And if you put, if you put 2 plus 3, you get 5. So there's your 5th month. You put your 23 and your 23. Yeah, it's just numbers.
Yeah, we'll never get, we won't get there, 23, but wonder if anybody will. What was the Zager and Evans song in the year 25? Yeah, thank you. Yeah, for those of you old enough to remember Zager and Evans.
You had me concerned there. I was trying to picture out what 23 would be. I thought, well, there's no 23rd month. What are you talking about? But the year 23. 23. In the 5th month on the 23rd day, I don't think we'll be around. I don't mean just you and I.
Right.
I don't know that the world will exist in the year 23.
It probably won't be global warming. It'll be the opposite. Oh, yeah. Well, you guys got it wrong.
Yeah, well, the global warming might be between each other. We need to simmer some of that down, I guess. We're not going to solve all the world's problems.
That's not our job.
And that's the key right there. Our job is to tell you what's happening today, and that is weather-wise. Looks pretty nice outdoors.
A very nice day. In fact, tomorrow as well. Sunshine both days with highs of 80. There's a very slight chance, and there's like 20 to 30% chance of a pop-up shower this afternoon. But overall, it looks good for the next couple of days.
I like it.
We need to explain. Yesterday, signing off, I mentioned that we were expecting Teresa Reap to talk about Liberty Camp this morning at 10. She notified us earlier today that she had a conflict that came up, so Teresa will be with us a week from today at 10 a.m. Just wanted to make sure you didn't think I storied to you yesterday.
Enjoy your week-long break from Dan and Mike. And we'll see you next week, Tuesday, on... that would be Teresa Tuesday.
Teresa Tuesday.
We want to remind you that we've got a YouTube channel, and we have shows that we upload to that every day. I do have to admit I failed to do that yesterday. I had an obligation down in Pike County yesterday. When I came in, I simply forgot to load the show. So yesterday's solo show with Mike Smith, I'll load that this afternoon. And we're also supposed to have a special guest this afternoon at 1 o'clock.
1 o'clock.
I had one scheduled yesterday that had to cancel on me, so we couldn't. And I even went out to the fairgrounds to track them down yesterday after work, and they were nowhere to be found. So maybe we'll see them sometime this week.
So Teresa thought, well, they can postpone. I can postpone.
But we're supposed to be talking about the Arts in the Streets, which has been rescheduled, and it's coming up in June. So we'll talk about that about 1 o'clock this afternoon. Fingers are crossed on that. There they are. All right, coming up in just a moment to look at news topics of the day. We'll also take a look at sports. There's a lot of high school roller coaster action last night. We'll share with you in just a bit. And this date in history, not one, but two, we'll share with you coming up in just a moment. First, we want to tell you about our friends at Accurate Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. They are your trusted comfort advisor. If you have an issue with one of these conditions in your home, or maybe you're putting in a new home and you're trying to figure out what type of system to put in, give these folks a call. Click on this ad anywhere you see it at littermedia.com. It'll take you right to their website where you can learn more about Accurate Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
It's the details that make the difference between good enough and simply the best. At Skag Power Equipment, the difference is in designing lawnmowers with your convenience and comfort in mind. At Skag, we believe that quality and substance matter, and that you'll appreciate the attention to detail and craftsmanship we put into every single product. Thick steel and heavy-duty components provide you with unmatched reliability and performance. Skag, simply the best.
This is Big Chillicothe. Horizon's 100% fiber internet service is coming to your area. Call 740-772-8331 or visit horizonconnects.com/Chillicothe to sign up today.
For transportation options in Ross County, call Ross County Health District's Mobility Management Team, 740-779-9652. Now let's take a look at what's making news for us today across the Scioto Valley. And to do so, it's the icon, Mike Smith.
Well, something that came out to our attention yesterday from the Ohio Department of Natural Resources that affects our area. ODNR will be closing some state forest roads for the 2023 Southern Ohio Forest Rally, June 6th through the 10th. Now, the roads will be temporarily closed at Scioto Trails, Shawnee, and Zaleski State Forest. The road closure dates can also be found on our website at littermedia.com. This is one of them here.
Yeah, you can see all three of these maps showing the yellow areas. Those are closed due to the forest rally. So it should be pretty cool. You and I made the trip out in the rain
and the mud
a couple of years ago. But here are your dates, June 8th through the 10th for the Southern Ohio Forest Rally. Now, those roads are going to be closed June 6th through the 11th, I believe, or is it the 10th?
The 10th, but they won't be shut down for the entire 4 days in each location. There's certain dates for each.
Yeah, because one day they'll be racing in Shawnee, another day they'll be racing in Zaleski. And, of course, they'll get things started in Yaktangi Park on Thursday, June 8th. That should be a lot of fun.
Very good, sir.
And if you want to see this up close, it's here in our Facebook feed, so you can just stroll down and see that.
A reminder of something we were telling you about a couple of weeks ago. There's an employment expo slated for this Thursday from 1 to 3 p.m. at Shoemaker Center on the Ohio University Chillicothe campus. Now, the Employment Expo will feature 40 area employers who are currently seeking qualified applicants. Computers and printers will be available for job seekers. Chillicothe Transit will be available for job seekers who need a way to get to the Job Expo. Now, door prizes and drawings will be done during that 3-hour window, 2 hours exactly. The expo is open to the public. There's no registration required for job seekers, but they tell you come prepared in case the employer there wants to do a job interview on the spot. So what's that old saying, dress for success?
Mm-hmm.
So be ready when you're showing up. You may have somebody want to do an interview right there for possible employment. After damaging weather, home repair contractors often go door to door offering roofing, siding, and other repair services. Now, while most contractors are reputable, there are some dishonest contractors who prey on consumers eager to quickly get their property and lives back in order. Contractor Fraud Awareness Week is this week, and the Ohio Department of Insurance has tips to help Ohioans protect themselves and their hard-earned money. I hope that you'll take the time to look at this website story at littermedia.com. I myself have heard too many stories in this area of people that were, can I use the term, ripped off by, basically it's an in-person scam. Unfortunately, one of them was my father when he was still living a number of years ago concerning tree trimming. When I got there and saw what had been done, I told them in no uncertain terms,
Mike took over.
You need to get out of here or I will call the sheriff. It was that bad.
Remember Jesus clearing the tables out of the temple? Mike Smith was
clearing them out of the yard. So yes, unfortunately, this type of thing happens, and we want you to know there are some things that you can do, just common sense things, to keep this unfortunate circumstance from happening to you. Ohio has announced new user-friendly features to the Ohio Means job site. These new features take a faster, streamlined approach to connect unemployed Ohioans with jobs while helping employers identify new talent. The enhancements are the next phase to improve consumer experience. And you were at a couple of events recently with the Lieutenant Governor where they talked a lot about this.
Yeah. And this is something that's very key for Ohio and what the future holds. I mean, Ohio is not a real big state, but good golly, we've got a good number of the population of America living right here.
Yeah, So if you're looking for employment or maybe a different type of employment, this is where you want to go, and you can simply do it like this young man is doing right there on your laptop. The local NAACP has an upcoming Jazz, Funk, and Blues benefit concert scheduled June the 9th for the Majestic Theater. That is a 7 p.m. start. I can't read some of the talent that will be performing, but you can see right there who they are.
And once again, this poster is also in our Facebook feed. You can see it there.
Very good, sir. Now, taking a look at some of the area roads. This came out actually yesterday afternoon. A project to replace an existing culvert in the right-of-way of State Route 28 at the intersection with Owl Creek Road has been rescheduled. Owl Creek Road will be closed for 3 days at the intersection of State Route 28 beginning June the 7th. Ross County ODOT crews will be performing the work. Now, during the closure, traffic will be detoured via Route 28 and US 50. The project is originally was expected to start tomorrow. But again, that's been backed up to start June the 7th with a completion date of the end of the day, June the 9th. If you didn't get all that down, you can go to our road report nav bar at littermedia.com to get more.
And Saturday, I was busy with these young ladies. It was the 5 contestants for the Feast of the Flowering Moon Queen. And here's some of the fashion show they were doing. We've got 5 good candidates. 5, of course, there's only going to be 3 girls that will be selected. Mm-hmm. 1 as Miss Feast of the Flowering Moon. 2 others will be attendants. And they'll be crowning all this. The decisions will be announced Friday during the opening. The opening begins at 5. They'll have the Little Miss and Princess contestants. They'll announce all of those for you about 5:30. Then these ladies will be crowned at 6 o'clock, right after they introduce all those coming back from over 40 years of the Feast of the Flowering Moon. I think Christy Simmons told me they have a commitment of 14 ladies who will be back.
Oh, that's great.
Out
of the 40.
Do you remember who the first one was?
No, I do not.
Then you didn't read our story.
I did not. I'm sorry. I was busy trying to gather scores when you posted that over the weekend.
At littermedia.com, you will find a story talking about what's going on at the feast and what is expected as they get ready to roll for another Feast of the Flowering Moon. Should be a lot of fun.
The one girl that came out and did the twirl. If I'd do that now, I'd be on the floor. I'd be on the floor. Yeah. Balance isn't what it used to be in the younger days. Yeah.
I'm with you on that. All right. Speaking of which, we've got the Adina Worthingtons and the Ohio Village Muffins will be having our annual contest on June 11th this year. So it's earlier than it usually is. And if you want to see someone twirl in circles and not be able to get up, I'm the guy they call Life Alert.
Life Alert.
I've fallen and I can't get up. So looking forward to that day. That'll be up at Adina Mansion and Gardens, and they've got something else going on that day too. So I'll have to look at that, do a little research, and share some more details as we get closer. It's just, a couple of weeks away now.
So it's good that you put that out there because you might think people are coming to watch you play, and they're actually coming to the other event.
Precisely.
Well, you can get 2 for 1. That's the idea. 2 for 1.
Well, and we should also say one of our Worthington's members, Daniel DeGarmo, is celebrating his birthday today.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to Double D. Also having a birthday today is Heath Blackburn from Advanced Services.
Oh, great.
So
great.
One of our fine sponsors. So hats off to you. And happy birthday. All right, coming up, we'll take a look at sports. I saw that Greg DeBoard checked in. I think he wants to hear what you have to say about
a wild one last night.
So that's coming up here shortly, so stick close for that. All right, coming up in just a moment also, this date in history, not 1 but 2 moments for you. Mike was showing you the peace sign. Was that what you were doing?
Yeah, Winston Churchill, I think it was the same way he smoked his cigar. He did it this way, yeah.
Maybe that was muscle
Could be. He couldn't turn it around.
Muscle memory, I think it was. All right, first we want to tell you about, let's see, what do we want to, Cider Valley Dumpsters. These guys can help you clean up. They've got a lot of muscle memory. They will bring a dumpster out, sit it down where you need it, and then when you're done filling it up, they'll haul it all away for you. That's simple, that easy, but it all starts with a phone call. 740-253-8389, or it could be starting with a Facebook message. If you click on this ad anywhere you see it at littermedia.com, it'll take you right to their Facebook page to connect them, you and them, with their Facebook Messenger. So send a message out to them. Tell them Dan and Mike sent you for Scioto Valley Dumpsters.
Hi, I'm Dave Pinkerton with Advanced Services Heating and Cooling, your local heating and cooling expert. If you want quality service, quality installation, give Advanced Services a call, 740-773-4499.
Budweiser beer, the king is second to none.
Who drinks Budweiser? You know the type. The people who grind. Those who don't back down. And the ones who don't quit. They say all people are 6 degrees of separation away from each other. But some are just a six-pack away. The people who share the same spirit, share the same beer. This Bud's for you.
I was looking for a first job. I had been babysitting and decided it was something for a little more permanent. It pays very well. It's convenient. You can make your own schedule with the flexibility. That's something that I like. The people that I work with are great. I wouldn't ask for a better crew or management team to work for.
Leah waited on me this morning for my breakfast. And you know how they say, your number's 332, here's your food. What I got was, Dan, your order's ready.
Did you ask for her autograph?
I did not.
Okay.
I did not. But she did tell me that she loves Mike Smith's voice.
Oh, bless her heart.
Isn't that sweet? It's time for sports.
Okay. We're going to elevate to our top sports stories some of our great athletes in the area. Ross County Special Olympics program heading to the state summer games June 23rd through 25th. Well,
There's Dion.
Yes, sir. This past weekend, they had their local invitational. Actually, it was the first time for this particular Olympics event. The athletes, their families, and coaches will be staying in Columbus for the weekend, with most of the competitions being held at Ohio State University's Jesse Owens Memorial Stadium. And here's some of the athletes that participated.
Some of the fellas I know. The one behind him was Bobby Malone. That is DJ Ford, Dion Ford, forgive me. There's Timmy Malone.
TJ May there in the lead.
TJ running. These guys are fun to watch play basketball, and what they do out at the Special Olympics, they're a lot of fun too.
Yeah. And again, their season's not over. And thanks to Lori Graves and Courtney Lewis for sharing this information. And you can find all of these pictures in our website story at littermedia.com. But it rained that day, but that didn't stop them.
I first met Dion, who's coming up here again in just a moment, at the YMCA when Missy worked there. She worked at the front desk, and Dion was always there playing basketball. There he is.
He's got the baton there ready to
betcha.
go. Also, congratulations to a couple of area coaches who made the OHSAA's distinctive Sportsmanship, Ethics, and Integrity Awards. And those two are both golf coaches. Aaron Leemaster of St. Trace High School Golf and Terry Hale, former great basketball coach at, was it Oak Hill? Yeah. He's now a Vinton County High School golf coach. So they were among those that were presented with this high honor. Congratulations. And the full list of each sport that's represented, that is included in our website story.
Yeah, the Paints are celebrating their 30th anniversary this year. I think Aaron Leemaster has been there for almost every one of those games, and he's been the official scorekeeper for a number of years.
Well, not only does Aaron coach golf at Zane Trace, but he's the fella that sends out to the media all of the results for all of the SVC golf matches. So when you see those stories appear on our website, that is thanks to Aaron Leemaster for putting all that together. So, Aaron, tip of the cap to you. Softball district championships yesterday saw South Webster end Adina's season in Division III. That was a 3-2 final score. It's a second straight title for the Lady Jeeps as they now move on to the regionals. The other two brackets, that was played on Sunday. Reason South Webster and Adina couldn't play that day is because it was graduation day for both. Division IV, Notre Dame shuts out Racing Southern 9-0, and Manchester beats Sims Valley 3-1. Those two teams now move on to regional play. Baseball district semifinals for Division II saw Washington edge Jackson. That had to go 8 innings to determine a winner. 1-0 Blue Lions. The wild one we were referring to earlier, Circleville upset. I think you can use that term upset, even though the Tigers have been hotter than the $2 pistols. I can use the late Grant McDonald's line. Unioto was ranked in the top 10. I think they were 24-2 coming into the game. Circleville, 18-11. They were third in the Mid-State League. Last night pulled off a win. They were up 4-1. Circleville was. Unioto in the bottom of the 6th scored 4 times to take the 5-4 lead, and then in the top of the 7th, the Tigers came right back and scored 3 times to get the lead, and then held on for the 7-5 victory. So Circleville and Washington will now play in the district finals at Ohio University tomorrow, the 24th.
They celebrated with pizza.
Which is a good way to celebrate.
You can see the picture on our Twitter page and go through there. You'll see where Mike shared the photo. There's some video also from the Circleville athletics department that was on there. I just was happy, and this is a Taze Valley guy saying this. I was happy to see somebody from Circleville win because they've got the old Reds hats.
Yeah, right.
The ones from the 1990s with the black hat and the wishbone C and the whole deal. It's just good to see something representing Cincinnati winning.
Now, the Tigers, who have already knocked off a couple of high seeds, they're going against number 1 now in Washington, who is also a top 10 ranked team.
Who spent just about everything they had in yesterday's game.
Yeah, so we'll see how that one pans out. Also in Division II, but up in the Central District, Bloom Carroll running rampant over Johnstown 9-2. Jonathan Alder over Buckeye Valley, so the Bulldogs will play Jonathan Alder for their district final. Going back to the Southeast District yesterday, White Oak, another top 10 ranked team throughout the year, they blanked St. Joe 10-0 in 5 innings. South Webster over Leesburg Fairfield. Now that was a championship game for D4, so those two winners move on to the regionals. But D2 and D3, which plays today, we'll get to in a moment, they're still in the semis. Up in the Central District again, Bern Union, a big upset over Newark Catholic 7-4, and Northmore over Fairfield Christian. Now today, Division I District Semi, Taze Valley takes on Grove City. Division III at Ohio University, Fairland against Eastern Brown at 4. Right after that, it's Oak Hill against Minford. And also in Division III today at the VA Memorial Stadium at 4, it's Portsmouth, South Point, Valley Megs. There's another Division III bracket for baseball. That'll be played as a doubleheader tomorrow at VA Memorial Stadium. You say, well, how does Division III get all these? Well, they have more teams than all the other divisions, so that is the explanation there. What else do we have here? Oh, a win. Went 10 innings. The Redlegs beat the Cardinals 6-5.
Spencer Steer with the Viking helmet. They said during the broadcast last night he is the first Reds rookie to hit 6 home runs in his first 47 games since Joseph Daniel Votto.
How about that?
In 2008.
And you were telling me that you have an update on Joey?
He was spotted in the dugout last night. He is close to returning to his rehab stint with Louisville. So we'll see how that plays out.
Gotcha. And the news also good for the Guardians. After a a really rough time out in Chicago last week. They're repaying that last night, 3-0 win for the Guardians over the White Sox.
We mentioned the Paints a while ago. VA Appreciation Night. This is Veterans Appreciation Night. It will be taking place on June 16th. The baseball season opens a week from Thursday, and the Paints will be opening on the road in Champion City. Then they will host Champion City the next night at VA Memorial Stadium. So the home opener coming up on June 1st. Hard to believe. I mean, where is the spring gone?
Oh, yeah.
It's almost summertime.
And by the way, the family activities and the free food, that is for the veterans and their families. And they need you to contact the VA ahead of time so they'll just know how many people to count on.
Yeah, you'll find the world's longest email address to do that registration. But if you are a veteran, get in contact with the VA. They can help you out there. Or you can also find this poster, I believe. Did you not share this?
Yes.
On our Facebook page? You'll be able to scroll down in our news feed and see this entire poster there as well.
But the game itself, that's open to everybody.
That's open to everybody. And this is usually one of the biggest crowds they have. If not opening night, it is that night. And it was much like last Thursday night for the commencement for Pickaway Ross. They had like 3,800 people there. You expect to see that on opening night and, again, on Veterans Appreciation Night.
Yeah. Go Paints, trying to bring home the big one again this year.
I'd like to see them win it back-to-back. Wouldn't that be cool?
That'd be neat. Which would be a first time in franchise history?
I think that's the case, yeah.
Okay.
If they were to win them back-to-back.
All righty.
Okay, coming up in just a moment, we'll get you caught up to date on this date in history. The Litter Media Wayback Machine is dialed up for what? 2 years.
1900 for this date in history, and our Revolutionary War Minute just happens to be something that happened on this date in 1777.
All right, that's coming up next, right after these fine words from our sponsors.
Find a career you love with Pickaway Ross Adult Education. Skilled trades careers are in high demand with no signs of slowing down. Pickaway Ross offers career training programs with expert instructors and hands-on learning tactics to create a variety of opportunities. Visit our website for more information.
At Rathkamp Financial, we provide wealth management services that may ease clients' fears of financial loss and help them retire comfortably. Our greatest satisfaction comes from working with clients for many years and helping them realize their dreams.
This is Andy Tomlinson. When ensuring what's important to you, our agents are there when you need us the most. Tomlinson Insurance, for the best coverage at the best cost. Visit us online at tomlinsonins.com to learn more.
You haven't had vodka soda like this. No one has. Made with the world's smoothest vodka plus real juice. New White Claw Vodka Soda.
It is time for this date in history, and we go back to 1900.
1900 for something that actually occurred in 1863. Here's the story. Recognized for heroically protecting the American flag during the Civil War, Army Sergeant William Harvey Kearny receives the Medal of Honor, the nation's highest military decoration. He received it on this date in 1900. The first black American service member to ever be given the Medal of Honor, Kearny was born into slavery in 1840 Virginia. His family relocated to Massachusetts, and in 1863, Kearny joined the Union Army as part of the 54th Massachusetts Volunteer Regiment, the first black regiment from the North to serve in the war. You might remember the movie Glory was about that outfit. Now, our Revolutionary War Minute also just happened to take place on this date. In 1777 at Sag Harbor. Isn't that a apparel line, Sag Harbor? Or a pocketbook line or something like that? Sag Harbor, New York. Patriot troops under the command of Lieutenant Colonel Return Jonathan Meigs capture several British vessels and burn redcoat supplies. With the help of two local men, Meigs and the Connecticut Raiders grabbed the British commander from his bed in the wee hours of the morning, firing only one shot. Instead of guns, the Patriots used silent but deadly bayonets to capture the British fort, successfully avoiding announcing their presence with gunfire. That's the truest walk softly and carry a big stick.
Mm-hmm. And throw a bullet your way. Sag Harbor. I'm probably going to start seeing ads show up because I've Googled Sag Harbor. Sag Harbor pants, Sag Harbor blazer, Sag Harbor hotels, Sag Harbor purse, like you said, inn, kitchen, restaurants, and, of course, the Village on Long Island, New York.
Now, I don't think we have any of that apparel, but I think I've seen enough or heard enough commercials that Sag Harbor seemed to ring a bell in my head.
Let's see. Radio bit. Anything from your radio history you wanted to mention today?
Not that I can think of.
We've often said the best thing about how we do the radio bits is we don't plan them until you have a moment like this where we say, you got something?
Oh, yeah.
No.
Yeah, not today.
Nothing stirs your memory.
Not today. When I'm driving out of here, something will hit me upside the head. But I was trying to think, have you ever been hit in the head? Well, you got hit with a basketball.
Yeah.
That put you out of commission.
Yeah.
Was that doing the radio?
No, I was setting the radio up.
Okay.
All right, so let's tell the story.
Okay, tell the story.
So this is the first time I ever had a workman's comp claim.
Mm-hmm.
Here I am with the late Steve Day, who at the time was the athletic director for Chillicothe High School. And so he was joining me in the broadcast. Let me correct something. I think his athletic director days were behind him. I think he was just simply teaching because he taught Latin and things of that sort. So we're at Pickerington Central High School. At that time, Harold Bates was the head coach of the Cavaliers, and Lou Postage was the head coach for Pickerington Central. The junior varsity contest is going on, and so we're setting up courtside, which is on the visitors' side of the floor.
Mm-hmm.
I'm setting things up with my back to the action in the JV game. So here I am, I'm plugging in cords and everything, and Steve is just like any other of the broadcast crew members, they sit and watch. And so
sometimes that's better that way.
It was. And so I'm plugging in cables and all this kind of stuff to make sure that we're ready to go on the air. Meanwhile, there is a ball that is being thrown inbounds. And how often have we seen, okay, nobody's open close to me, I'm going to throw it across the floor. And they, over their head, throw it across the floor.
Yeah.
And one of our former coworkers, Tammy Barker, was in the crowd on that side, and she saw this happen because her boy was playing, and the ball is thrown from one side of the floor. I'm standing here unawares, and whap, right in the side of the head. It reaches me unimpeded, thank you to the Cavalier player who did not catch the ball. But it knocked my head, and it just messed everything up from between my head, down in between my shoulders, down into my lower back. And I didn't think much of it at the time because I'm like, okay, that's kind of funny. I feel it right now talking about it. I remember what it felt like. And so we went through the broadcast. I want to say the Cavaliers win that game.
He can't remember.
I can't remember. I got hit in the
head.
He
was unconscious. He didn't remember.
But the next day, we were going up to Massillon for a state championship football game. And that day, it felt as if someone had driven a railroad spike down through my spine. And it was a long day. That was a real long day.
Yeah.
But so we got back to work on Monday, and Mr. Dan Latham, sir, says, well, you need to file a workman's comp so I can do that?
Did
he
it come
says,
through?
Yeah, and it came through, and so Brandon Haynes worked me back into shape and everything. And every once in a while, I got to have it taken a look at again, just because I'm old now.
I remember we were at some kind of an HR meeting. I think you were with us, Christina.
In Columbus, yeah.
Now, this meeting is to avoid things like this. And near the end of the event, they had some kind of it was almost like musical chairs, but it wasn't. You had to run to the other side of the room to find a chair. Mike Elliott ran into me, and I mean, he knocked something out of place.
He wanted to win, doggone it.
And I told him about it a few years later. And but I ended up having to go to the chiropractor for that one, too. I think he might have knocked a rib or a vertebra out of place or something.
I got injured during an HR event.
Yeah, so radio is not all fun and games, folks. Sometimes you get hurt.
That was that was the day in which we were sitting around. They were talking about what sexual harassment was.
Yes.
And trying to define some things. And one of the announcers says, well, to me, the difference is you take a look, you see a lady wearing a nice dress, and you say, nice dress. Sexual harassment is nice dress.
And the room erupts in laughter.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Thank you for playing that out for us. We appreciate it. Let's see.
And by the way, I've never bragged on Dan's dress, so there's no danger of that happening in this office here.
No, he has hit me before that. The potential for a special edition this afternoon. I have to send a text here in just a moment to remind our guest. But we hope to talk about the Arts in the Street event, which is coming up pretty soon. And then tomorrow we're back on it again with another special edition with John Howley.
Pickaway County edition, which we do twice a month, like we do Fairfield County. And John Howley, of longtime photographer in the area with Sporting Pumpkin now. John will be here to talk about what their adventure is all about there in Pickaway County.
You know what he's going to get to talk about?
Yeah.
2 state champion wrestlers coming from Pickaway County. That's pretty huge for not just Pickaway County, but the Mid-State League as well. So we'll touch on that and more tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock with John Howley. So until our next broadcasts, enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you so much for joining us here on another edition of Litter Media Live.